Welcome, guys. This is Five Things We Learned, brought to you by Vertical Football, and it's Chelsea versus, we have beaten them again. Fulham, yeah, 2-0. Chelsea, not a good game in my viewpoint. We could have played better. It was shitty. We were losing passes. I don't want to start with the negatives, so I'll just check it, balance it. But it was a nice game for Fulham. They created some chances, but they were not clinical about their chances, and I think that cost them. But let's go right into the five things we learned. So for the first thing, I would say there was no sense of control from Chelsea throughout the first half. In the first half, we were just managing. I don't know why we were so much in a hurry. Yeah, probably because we saw that Fulham was opened. The way they structured themselves, I was expecting them to like be compact and not wide the field, but they wide the field, put a whole lot of players in the center of the pitch. So we were just, I don't know, it was intense, back and forth in the first 10 minutes. Nothing to pick out of the match aside some little chances here and there from Fulham. And from the delap's injury, the whole thing just changed. It was like it went south for Chelsea. And with the delap injury, he exposed me to like a whole lot of things. But I'll just pick on three things about that particular one. And I think the first one is, I've heard people say it and I've spoken about it at some point in time, but you are not the club. You can only speak of things that you see in the club, or you are not the club. They have made their decisions. And what is this thing I saw is having three strikers in the club is not a bad thing in my viewpoint. Yeah. And it was very obvious today. The absence of Cole Palmer meant Joao Pedro had to play in the attacking midfield position, and delap will do the decoy up front. But now delap is injured. Then it's very obvious that you cannot always use Tyreek George in that position. We were just lucky. We were lucky to get the first goal in the first half. In the second half, I think there was a bit of control, but with Tyreek George up front, did his part, played the little ones he can play, but you need somebody in the profile of delap to be up there. And if Jackson was available now, if, like Shegun will always say, does not exist in football, but if Jackson was available, we would have had options, and Jackson is going to be perfect for that role, because in that role, you are not expecting the person that is there to score goals. You are just expecting that person to create like open spaces, take the defender out wide so that the space in the center position can be open for him to like go in and get the goal. It eventually happened, but having three strikers is not going to be a bad thing. And I don't know how we want to move forward from this, probably, but I'm trusting Chelsea. That's one thing I try to always do, because they pull things off. You can say, oh, it's already 2 days, or less than 48 hours to the window closing for the transfer, and nothing can get done. But this is Chelsea. We know how to pull those kind of things through. So I'm believing something will happen, or they are going to look for somebody internally to do that job. And another thing was, Fulham were very smart with the way they set up their midfield. So something like we trying to get a line breaking pass, we didn't really get much of it in the first half. We got a little bit of it in the second half. We broke the lines, but in the first half, the way they overload the midfield, people like Iwobi, Sander Berge, Lukic, they were waiting and standing on the lines to like pretend like they were not going to go for it, but eventually they went for it and they intercepted the ball. So I think the structure was good for Marco Silva's Fulham. They intercepted the ball like at least 2 to 3 times in 18 minutes, and that was good. He stopped the way we wanted to play in the first half, but we're grateful he turned out the way he wanted to turn out, and we got the win. But it was a shitty performance. We should not lie to ourselves. That's not the standard that we want to keep. But I still want to hold another viewpoint, which is sometimes you're not going to get the best of games, and everybody's open to the idea in football, like you're not going to have 38 good games in a league. You're going to have bad ones. But what happened on this bad day? Can you still move forward to get the win? I think Chelsea is giving us that vibe. Like we can go on in a bad game and still get the win. And I think that's good. And there's another controversial moment in the 22nd minute. The Fulham's goal that was removed. Everybody have their own viewpoint. Everybody has the way they see things, and having I've gone on Twitter, gone online, listened to guys in the podcast. They are like, that should have been a foul. I think I disagree. That shouldn't. No, they said that should have not been a foul. So I disagree because I think that's a foul. It's obvious that it was a blind side. Yeah, he was turning his back. He was not seeing the person that was coming, and Chaluba came. But imagine the situation where it was not just even his foot that he stamped on him. He just used his elbow to hit him on his cheek or on his face. Would you say because he was on a blind side, that's not going to be a foul? That's a foul. So I don't know where the justification is coming from that this is not a foul, this is this is that. But I think it was a right call for me. The second goal, right, was it a right call? I would not necessarily say it was a right call. The referee gave what he gave. But if you are looking at the build up towards the goal, the ball went up, area deal, what's it called? Joao Pedro badged Anderson at the back. When the ball was bouncing, somebody tried to kick the ball, touched him in the hand. That's first in this incident they looked at. The ball went. Caicedo tried and intercepted the ball and he won it, but he still went out wide a little bit. He tried to like stop the ball against, what's it called, from this guy getting it. He will be, and he still won it again. Then Chaluba made the cross. And Sesenyo had to like just raise his hand. That particular one was a foul. But looking at the incident that led to that goal, there was too much of things that has happened. I felt like the ref should have just allowed that particular one slide because there was too much of things that led to that particular incident. And he awarded it a foul. Is the ref's decision. All of those kind of things are they are open. We are open to it in football. It will always go around. It will happen to us. It will happen to the other people. But when it happens to you, would you say you don't want? You would take it like that. That's football. It's subjective from the ref's point of view. He checked it, and eventually made his decision that he would not count those things. But I thought he should have counted it against Chelsea as a foul. So Fulham thrived, and another thing from Fulham is they tend to, like, in the first half they played more on the left hand side of the pitch. Yeah, if you're looking at it from the Fulham perspective, they played more on the left hand side of the pitch, overloaded their players there, and they worked well. I think they even exploited Estavio and Gusto. Gusto was superb. I think coming into the second half here, he was superb. Nice, fantastic second half from him. But in the first half, they overloaded him. Sesenyo and Iwobi, they created a whole lot. And with the support of Sander Berge and Lukic, they played well on the other side. And one individual player for me is Joao Pedro. That was super performance from Joao Pedro. And I think when Delap was taken off from, like, due to injury, I was thinking about it like, what was going to happen? My initial viewpoint was bring in Tyreek George. Let Tyreek George stay on the left-hand side. Let Pedro Neto go to the right-hand side. Let Joao Pedro go up front and allow Estavio stay in the middle. But then I thought about it again when Maresca did the formation and put Tyreek George as the false nine. And it was like, as the nine, was like, yeah, that actually made sense. The idea is to free spaces for Joao Pedro. So it was not going to make any sense to have Joao Pedro being the one to free space for somebody else, because I think Joao Pedro is being clinical. It was good performance from him. Even in the first half where everybody looked shitty, he was coming to the back, picking up the balls, taking one, taking two on. He wore the Kopama's shirt. He's Joao Pedro. Let's not take that away from him. But we saw more of things like we would have expected from Kopama, and I think I really love that. That was beautiful match from him. Individual performance. He was the one person who gave us that. Tosin Chaluba is superb. This is me and my friend were speaking about it when they were playing the match, and it's like, I'm so happy for Chaluba. He was forced out of the club at first, went on loan to Crystal Palace, then called back again, and he has cemented his position in this club. His defensive ability is good. Him taking the ball 5 meters, 7 meters was great. His tackling, he was still even the one that made the cross that said, like, it was just all over the place. And Moises Caicedo, nice duty, good job. Enzo Fernandez was off. Yeah. Had some decent tackles, but in transition, offensive duty, it was poor today. Yeah, maybe I should put it that way. In his offensive duty today, it was poor. He killed the transition two times. A breaking like they were up in our post trying to score and we broke into transition and they gave the ball to Enzo Fernandez. You would not believe I was there and I was telling my friend like it should not be Enzo Fernandez. Why should Enzo Fernandez be the one to get the ball? And eventually he went on and he missed the ball. And I was like, man, bro, you need to like wake up. We saw it in the Crystal Palace match. Didn't really I can't say really much about the West Ham match, but this particular one, I think we're asking more from Enzo Fernandez. Nice player, good player. The mentality to even go up to pick the penalty, that was massive for me because you're looking at a guy who kind of like had a shitty match and then he's up there wanting to take the penalty. If he lost it was going to be a disaster for him because people will come out and say a whole lot of things, but he stood up to it and he buried it, and that was great. In the second half, I didn't think there was so much. Yeah, I didn't think there was so much in the second half. I liked the way we handled the second half. It was more of game management. Yeah, that's basically what it was. Game management, just hold the ball, kick it around, and Menzo Maesca bringing Rich James into the match was perfect at a very perfect time because when I was doing my analysis before the match, Chelsea tend to like play from the 0 minutes to the 70th minute. That was when we had our peak performances and score goals in the first match, in the second match. But if you look at Fulham, first match, second match, they tend to like score from the 70 minutes to the 90th minute. So I was kind of like worried. But when I saw Rich James come in, and I'm like, okay, now you have given us somebody who can give us that sense of control, who can take the ball, and you know that nobody will want to press him. So good game, 3 points in the bag, 7 points in 3 matches. Joao Pedro, 4 goals and assists in 3 matches. Nice performance, but shitty game in an overall performance. It was shitty. We can be better than this. This is just game week 3. We'll get better. We'll cover our lapses. Do we have any new guy in the squad? No one yet. But Jamie Gittins came in. Was a little bit of part of the match, but no, not up there. But I feel like integrating him a little bit will be nice for him. So we can get better. That's just one thing. I don't want to beat myself down. I don't want to beat anybody down like, oh, this, that, no. But we know like this is not the performance that we are expecting from this club. We can get better. So that's the message for me. Thank you very much for sticking with us. What do you think about this match? Please drop it in the comment section and please like, share and subscribe to this channel. This is brought to you by Vertical Football. So we see you some other time. Thank ya.